Hi everybody, welcome to A Taste of MCI. Today we're going to celebrate the simple egg in the highest of forms, the souffle. Now, you might think, souffle, wow, that's way advanced. And in some ways it is, but once you know some of the tricks and trades and secrets, then it's a little bit demystified. So what does souffle mean? Souffle means to puff up, to blow up. And in this case, what we want to blow up are the eggs. But let's not get ahead of myself. The first thing you need for a souffle is a base. And the base we're going to make today is going to be a light white sauce, sometimes called a bechamel. So in one, I'm going to heat up a little milk and thicken it with something called a roux. And I'll get to that in a second. We're going to make our base, and then that base is neutral. So we can decide if we want to do sweet or savory. So throughout the course of the demonstration, I'm going to tackle one of both, but I'm going to use the same base. I'm just going to flavor it differently. Okay, good. So for this base, I'm going to take 3 tablespoons of butter, which I've melted in a pan here, and I don't want it to get very hot. And I'm going to add into it 3 tablespoons, it's a 1/4 cup of flour, and I used regular flour, just all-purpose flour is fine. And I'm going to put it in there. And I want to stir it so it looks like sand. I just want to cook it a little bit, trying to get all those lumps out. And we're going to heat that just a little bit until it comes to a little bit bubbling. I'm trying to get those lumps out. Good. All right. Good. And then in this pot here, I'm going to go ahead and add 1.5 cups of milk. That's what I have here. 1.5 cups of milk. I'm using regular milk. I have not tried it with some of the alternate milks, oat, almond, whatnot. That would be a fun experiment. Come back another time and we'll investigate some of those different milks. But for today, it's straight up cow's milk, whole, unadulterated, pasteurized, that we're going to thicken with this roux. Okay, so while this comes up to temperature and this roux is cooking, let's talk a little bit about how, there we go there. Thank you, Tony, for putting that back up. Sorry. And this, okay. Now, thickening a sauce is not difficult, but it is a little bit tricky. So I'm going to take some of this milk and I'm going to temper it into the roux. I'm going to take this off the heat. And I want to do this slowly because what I don't want to have are a whole bunch of lumps. So I'm whisking the milk in a little at a time. See how that becomes almost a paste? That roux is very strong in its thickening powers. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit more here. Try not to splash too much, but working with milk can be a little bit messy. Wow, look at that. Thickens so much up. This is a way that we teach young culinarians in the sauce station how to combine a roux with a sauce. We sort of temper it. Now I'm going back in the big bowl and I'm going to just whisk this in. Doing it in stages like this helps me prevent big lumps because I've sort of thinned the roux out a little tiny bit. Good. That can go away. Now, with this here, I want to bring it up to temperature, which means bring it up to a boil. And as soon as it gets to a boil, you'll see how thick this gets. It's almost like a thick paste. Okay, we don't need to cook this very much. Let's go ahead and put it off the heat, but we'll season it with, we need a little bit of salt, and a little bit of nutmeg is nice. Nutmeg, a pinch of nutmeg, and a little bit of white pepper is also good. And I'm going to leave this right here, this base. This base, I'm going to divide in half, but if you were to use this for cheese souffles alone, this base should make about 4 cheese souffles. It's very hot right now, so I'm going to just remove half and put it aside, and then I'd like to take this other half and we're going to cool it off a little bit, and we're going to add in a few egg yolks, and we'll go ahead and scrape out about half of this, and we'll reserve that for another time. All right, now into this here, this is our base. Now let's talk about the eggs. The eggs themselves, the eggs themselves. The eggs themselves, we have two parts of an egg. We have an egg yolk and we have an egg white. And for a souffle, we're going to use both. The egg yolk is going to go into the base, and the egg white we're going to whip up so that it's light and foamy. I have here 2 egg yolks that I have separated, and I'm going to whisk them into the bechamel. But make sure the bechamel is not too hot, because otherwise you're going to end up with scrambled eggs. I'm going to wait a little longer till the steam subsides in here. All right. And while that's cooling off a little bit more, I don't want it so cold, let's talk about the molds that we need to have for a souffle. So how does a souffle work actually? Well, the egg whites are really a protein that we call albumin. Hold that for a later thought. When I start to whisk up my egg whites, I'm going to start creating a foam, what we call an egg foam. That's my mind. And the egg foam is going to have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of little tiny air bubbles that are all wrapped around these egg whites, right? Now, when I combine this egg foam with my base and seasonings, then I put it into the oven, what's going to happen? Well, hold on, we'll get back to that. All right, here we go. Oops, that is totally a problem. All right, let me put this in here. My egg yolks go into here. And I think for this souffle, we'll go ahead and we're going to make it a cheese souffle. So the yolkies go in. And for a cheese, I simply chose a meltable mix of a Colby and a cheddar. So that's going to get folded in here. All right. So 2 egg yolks, the nice cheese here. And on to the egg whites next. Let's hold this. We're going to talk a minute or two about egg whites. Let me just put this over in the other sink here. To whip up egg whites, balloon whisk. That's great. And it is true what they say, that copper bowls oftentimes have a reaction with the egg whites that make them whip up nice and fluffy. Put my egg whites in here. I'm also going to add a pinch of cream of tartar. Cream of tartar, you could also add a squeeze of lemon, but it's just going to help stabilize the egg yolks, egg whites a little bit, all right? Now, first, we just break them up, and then let's beat them within an inch of their lives. Nice and foamy. If you get tired, you can switch hands. A true test. If you're ambidextrous or not. And what are we looking for? We want them to be very stiff, but not so stiff that they are over whipped. Still, they should be able to hold their shape on the end of a whisk. Getting there. See that? Maybe that little handle is what that's for, that little handle there. That's looking good. Now comes the part where we want to combine the two. I'm going to switch to my other whisk. Makes it a little bit easier. And I'm going to take half of the egg whites and put them in and loosen it up. Okay, and I'm going to loosen it up just very little, like so. Let me put this in a bowl so you can see it a little better. There we go. Nice cheesy souffle. This thing is on. And then the rest of them, I'm going to go ahead and fold in like so. All right. To fold it in, you cut and turn, cut and turn. Cut and turn, cut and turn. it's okay to have a few streaks of egg whites. Better that than you don't deflate them. Now, over here, I've gone ahead and buttered my molds, and I've got a mix of breadcrumbs and cheese that I can line. I also, there we go. Okay, so I've got these two molds lined, and I'm going to fill them right up here. And let's do this one as well. Okay, come on in here, boys and girls. Sorry that's so messy. Let's see if we can get one more in here. And the key is to try to keep it clean on the edges. Good. And we'll pop these into an oven. And we're going to put it in a hot 400-degree oven and watch it rise. Okay, so here's what happens. You've got this egg foam, all these hundreds and hundreds of tiny air bubbles that are encapsulated in the egg white. Now, when I put it into the oven, two cool things happen. First of all, hot air rises. So all those little bubbles, they want to go up high, but the egg white cooks. So the protein or the egg white encapsulates all those thousands of tiny air bubbles, and in so doing, as they rise, they bring the souffle up with it. So making a souffle is actually, once you understand the mechanics, quite easy, but it is fraught with difficulties. First of all, a souffle waits for no one. As soon as it comes out, it must be served, which is why many times you don't see them in restaurants too often, because they don't have the service capabilities to produce that. Secondly, souffles can have mistakes. They can fall. I'm waiting now. I'm holding my breath that this works. They can fall. They could rise too much. The first time I made a souffle, I thought, well, if 3 egg whites are good, 6 egg whites must be better. No, that's not. 2 things. Egg whites, they rob you of flavor, number 1. And number 2, the egg was so fragile. I was so excited. The souffles went up, 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 and then they fell down. So too many egg whites is not always a good idea. Your base can be a number of things. You can take that bechamel, you could make a broccoli cheddar base, you could make a ham and cheese base, you could make all different types of cheeses. I chose a melty one. You could make a blue cheese, a goat cheese. It's up to you. The dishes themselves are also, traditionally souffle dishes look like this with all the pleats. In fact, I had read it was one of the first dishes that Williams-Sonoma, the company, introduced to the United States. What you do need, you need a dish though that has straight sides. And inside we butter it and or sugar it or cheese it or mold it, so as it's climbing, the souffle has something to grab onto. I've seen, these are tiny, tiny ones. Those might be a little too small. I've seen coffee souffles in coffee cups. Clever idea. That's more for a dessert item. Okay, very good. Now, that being said, the souffle is in the oven. Let's just have a quick look and see if it's even rising up. You're not supposed to, but we'll do it real quick. Oh yeah, she's coming along. Let's see. See this? Now, if the souffle ever gets stuck on a side, but let's see, I'll show you if that happens, how to release it.
Fresh thinking is being served at Miami Dade College. Create your own recipe for success in the evolution of food culture at the Miami Culinary Institute. Learn the skills you need to jumpstart your career in the culinary arts. Turn green into gourmet and celery into salary. Miami Culinary Institute. Food, culture, innovation. Visit us at miamidadeculinary.com. Register now. Miami Culinary Institute.
Miami Dade College has career paths in anything you want to be. What's your story? Be global. Be cutting edge. Be inventive. Be investigative. Be a hero. What do you want to be? Be the best. Be you. Be MDC.
Learn and earn today at Miami Dade College. College graduates earn 56% more than high school graduates and $1 million more in lifetime earnings. A degree from MDC is your path to greater earning power and career success. Choose from hundreds of affordable high-tech and in-demand career programs, including cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, business, and nursing. Learn and earn today at MDC and fast-track your career. Enroll now at mdc.edu/purpose.
So, to serve a souffle, something like this might be a great little lunch item with a small salad, or breakfast, or just an appetizer. But oftentimes we'll do what we call an artichoke fold. So take a large napkin and we fold it corner, 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 and we just flip it over, and we do corner like so, and then we'll push it on our plate, and then we pull out the little from here, and then I have another little one here. A stiff napkin helps. And let's look at our delicious souffles. Here we go. Oh my, wow. Now, just a note to self that these souffles are lovely. When they're in the oven, many times you can loosen them up. This got a little stuck right here so that they rise evenly. But all things considered, these look just delicious. Okay, and to serve a souffle, we're going to cut this out, and we simply, oh, look how nice that is. We're simply going to look inside and see what we have there. Oh, delicious, creamy, cheesy goodness. Little hot to eat. Boy, is that good. And I don't even like eggs. Really nice. That's a cheese souffle. Very good. Now let's move on. And we're going to tackle a dessert souffle. Here you go, folks. Help yourself. For the dessert souffle, we're going to take the same mix, that bechamel here that we've got, and I'm going to add into it some cocoa and some sugar and some eggs and some melted chocolate. Now, some souffles, for sweet souffles, also use a pastry cream or a creme pat, which is fine. This bechamel, they're similar in many ways. They both have eggs and milk and a thickener. Okay, so into here, I'm going to go ahead and add my 2 egg whites, and we're going to stir that up. And where's my thing? Stir this up. And into this, let me just grab my whisk. Very good. Very nice. And into this, I'm going to go ahead and add about a tablespoon of cocoa powder, maybe 2 tablespoons of sugar, regular sugar. And we're going to mix that up very well. Mix it up. And then I'm going to fold in, you know what would be nice in this too? Coffee powder might be nice. A pinch of cayenne would be good. Vanilla, of course. We're going to swap this out here and go to our whisk. So now I have a nice base. This is heavy, this base. So in so doing, I may need to add a few more egg whites to make sure that it's light enough. I'm going to add in about a 1/4 cup of melted chocolate as well. Just a few chocolates in there. Even if there's a few chips, it might be kind of fun to find. Okay. Now I have a nice chocolatey base. If I were to add a liqueur, Grand Marnier, Kahlua, something, I would add that into here. And now we're going to go ahead with our egg whites. Let's whip them up. Nice and big. Now, for these souffles, we want to line our molds with cinnamon and sugar or cocoa. So we're going to beat this up. We're going to take a little now just to loosen up the mixture. Just a little to sort of loosen that up. I'm going to beat the rest of this. Okay, give us a second. I'm going to mix this together. And now we're going to, give us a second, I'm going to throw the rest of those egg whites into this. And now, here's the thing with egg whites. You can, if you have extra egg whites, you can save them and freeze them. They whip up very nicely, even after they've been frozen, once you thaw them. Let's say you want to make chocolate souffle for company. You can mix it up to a point, what I'm about here, folding it together. It might sit for maybe an hour. So perhaps right before you go down to dinner, you can fold it, put it in the molds, and then fire it up at dinner time. All right, I'm going to combine these up real well. Okay, here we go. First, I'm going to add a little bit to start. Good, and we're going to loosen that mixture up. Very nice. Good, and then the second one, I'm going to fold it in with a spatula. Very nice, like so. And cut, like so. And our molds over here, we filled with a little cinnamon sugar. And the way I'm going to fill my molds, it's very clever. Take one mold, and you put it into the next one. Okay, so let's get this in here. And this one too. Good. And what we do, we want to make sure that they're very clean around the ridges. And we're going to just go ahead and put those right into a hot oven. And we'll come back. When we come back, we'll make a little sauce for this, and we'll try our chocolate souffle.
Fresh thinking is being served at Miami Dade College. Create your own recipe for success in the evolution of food culture at the Miami Culinary Institute. Learn the skills you need to jumpstart your career in the culinary arts. Turn green into gourmet and celery into salary. Miami Culinary Institute. Food, culture, innovation. Visit us at miamidadeculinary.com. Register now. Miami Culinary Institute.
Miami Dade College has career paths in anything you want to be. What's your story? Be global. Be cutting edge. Be inventive. Be investigative. Be a hero. What do you want to be? Be the best. Be you. Be MDC.
Learn and earn today at Miami Dade College. College graduates earn 56% more than high school graduates and $1 million more in lifetime earnings. A degree from MDC is your path to greater earning power and career success. Choose from hundreds of affordable high-tech and in-demand career programs, including cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, business, and nursing. Learn and earn today at MDC and fast-track your career. Enroll now at mdc.edu/purpose.
Hey, welcome back. Let's have a look and see how our souffles are doing. Here we go. They're looking good. Let's see. I'm going to loosen it up right here. Very good. Okay, they're coming along nicely. They got a few more minutes, so let me show you how to make a quick vanilla sauce. Now, vanilla sauce is another custard. It's called a stirred custard. There's no starch in it, so it's a little tricky. I make sure that before I start, I have a bowl of ice water with another bowl and a strainer, so right away I can strain it. I'm going to take about a cup of milk, and I have 3 egg yolks here, 3 egg yolks, into which I'm going to put about a half a cup of sugar. I don't want it too sweet, but as soon as you put sugar onto the eggs, you want to make sure that you whisk it up. Don't leave it like this, because what happens is that you get a lot of little tiny little egg bumps, okay? So I've got this here, and I've got my milk here, and what I'm going to do is first temper it. I'm going to take a little bit of the milk and put it in here, just a little at a time, and a little more. All right. Now I'm going to switch from this to a wooden spoon, and we're going to go ahead and put the egg yolks back. Egg yolks and milk go back in here. The whisk goes away, and we're going to use a wooden spoon here. And we have to cook this just until the custard is set. Egg yolks coagulate around 78, 80 degrees. If this comes to a boil, you're going to have sweet scrambled eggs. So we watch, and we were looking for nappe. So as I'm stirring, it's getting thicker, and I want to make sure that I can pull my finger right through. See? Not quite, almost there. If I can keep it in the pot. Ah, yes. Very good. See, I can draw my finger through that. Oop, that is nappe. So I'm going to go ahead and strain that right into here. As you can see, we got it off in time. There's just a few little eggs, scrambled eggs in the bottom, not scrambled, but perfectly cooked. This goes here. Now what I have is a beautiful vanilla sauce. Well, let's make it vanilla and add in a little bit of vanilla extract. There we go. And I've got it on the ice so that it cools and doesn't continue cooking. Some people do like a warm custard sauce, but traditionally this is served cold. Okay, very good. And look at these beautiful souffles. Look at this. Hold on. Look at those. Isn't that just beautiful, huh? And we give a little bit of powdered sugar on it. Let me take them both out. Here we go. Now, souffle doesn't last very long. We want to close this, and you have to make sure your guests are at the table. You want to give a little powdered sugar on the top, like so. Good. Very good. And then we traditionally would serve it here. And of course, we can take this one for us. That's for us. But here, and then your guests would simply open this up very nicely. You can open this up. And we put a little bit of our beautiful creme anglaise inside of that. One second. Some beautiful vanilla sauce right inside. Very good. And there we have a nice chocolate souffle ready to be eaten and enjoyed by your company. So that's a little lesson on souffles today. Thank you very much for coming. This is Taste of MCI. My name is Chef Pam. Please come join us down here at beautiful Wolfson campus in the heart of it all at Miami Dade College. Thank you again for joining us. Enjoy.